Cool. I think we are live. Somebody in the chat can confirm. Hello to everyone who's already joined. Sorry for slight delay. And Suraj, hello. Awesome topic. I hope to learn some obscure facts. Let's see. Both Anshuman and I are big fans of Sherlock Holmes, the literature. So we have made most questions around the book. But if you've followed the various adaptations over the years from TV shows to movies, you would know most of these things. Uh, Hope Jeremy Brett gets a shout out, says Rutajit. Let's see. Speckled Band is the greatest short story ever written. You can't convince me otherwise. Okay, will not convince you. It's good. Okay, Sanveer, so nice to see you. Yatin, always a pleasure to see your name. Fuzail is here, Nitin is here. Let's do a fun, short Sherlock Holmes quiz. If you guys have been following the channel, you know we've been doing a bunch of things, different kinds of quizzes as much as possible. This month we've done quite a few quizzes actually, apart from, of course, doing the Sunday episodes and the quizzing with members, etc. So yeah, on that note, we have a Sherlock Holmes quiz. Vyomkesh Bakshi एक आंसर होना चाहिए. Says Fuzail, okay. Cumberbatch or RDJ, yeah, the jury is out. Let's do it. Let me call the three contestants that we have today. Our first contestant on this Sherlock Holmes quiz. So excited to call all three of them. Our first contestant actually coming on quizzing for the first time, I think. Currently lives in Chennai, works in audit, grew up in Muscat, Oman. Went to Etiraj College. Hey, nice. Loves reading. Give it up for Aishwarya.
Hi, hi, KV. Hi, everybody.
Yeah, hi. I know Etiraj College. They used to be in every cultural fest
Yes,
ever in
we still are.
yeah.
Yes,
Nice. Are you a Sherlock fan, Aishwarya, or
yes,
just
huge
huge?
fan of mainly the series, the BBC series. But yes, overall,
Hmm.
love the character. My first introduction into series as such, was Sherlock. Was one of the first few series that I ever watched.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Yes,
Fantastic adaptation. And I think
first,
the very
yeah.
first episode was so good.
I
And
don't.
the way they modernized the whole thing and the way they, like small details, for example, Dr. Watson in the books comes from a war, and then here he comes from the Afghan. Very nicely done.
I
Okay. Cool. We have Ashwarya with us. And on that note, I'm calling our second contestant on this quiz. Let's see who the second contestant is. Grew up in India and loves quizzing and loves reading Tintin. We'll do a Tintin quiz maybe soon. Tan, right? And spends a lot of time on IMDb. Give it up for Ashutosh.
Hi, KV, and so glad to be here. Always excited to join a quiz. And particularly one on a topic that I really like.
Nice.
My introduction to Sherlock Holmes was many years ago. I think when I was in ninth or tenth, I used to read a lot of the stories. So
Hmm.
while it has been a while, I feel it's been one of the fonder series that I've read, and really excited for this quiz.
Nice. Since you spend a lot of time on IMDb, Ashutosh, anything you want to recommend to our audience, saying, guys, please watch this, yeah. What the hell? Please.
Well, I would say there's this between like there's two categories, right? Like I think there's like movies that are nine above, but then I
Hmm.
feel like not enough time goes to movies that are one below.
Hmm.
And I feel like there's a sizable. I call myself a bit of a connoisseur of movies that rank in that general territory.
Hmm.
I think there's value in that. There's somebody put in a lot of effort, aimless or meaningless as it may have been. I think people should still appreciate that art, uh, even if it's not movies. So, for example, the likes of Gunda or what have you, Drona, or like all of these movies come to mind.
Hmm.
Sorry, guys, just 1 second.
Sorry. I am so sorry that I left you guys in with an awkward pause. Sorry, my internet was acting a little bit, but I'm here. Thank you. I heard Drona, which was the most important part of what you said, Ashutosh. I'll never forget Drona. I had just started my working life, like first salary ever, and our friends were very excited to go out and watch a movie with our own money. Imagine, early 20s, first salary, TCS, Trivandrum. Oh my God. We went to the theaters and there were two options, kidnap or Drona.
Well, once the audience saw the reception, the Goldie Behl, the director, like any reasonable Indian director worth his salt, announced a remake, announced a sequel.
Yeah.
I think Sonali Bendre and I are the only two people still waiting for that sequel.
Oh, nice. Before I call the third contestant, let me just see the chat. Because we have a lot of Sherlock fans in the audience. Naren says Shanghai Nights had to be a really odd fictional shout out to Sherlock Holmes. Would you do an Agatha Christie next, please? Why not? Great idea. We'll do Agatha Christie maybe in December or January. Um, Hercule Poirot or Sherlock Holmes? Why not? Let's do a Hercule Poirot quiz. रुकावट के लिए खेद है. Yes, thank you. And sorry. Studying Scarlet in fourth standard. Karthik read. Don't know anything about mermaids back then. Read again years later. Made sense. It happens with a lot of books. No, sometimes as a kid you're like, हाँ, मतलब you find something fascinating. Then years later you're like, अच्छा ये चल रहा था क्या? Okay, gonna rewatch BBC Sherlock now. Why not? Okay, on that note, our third contestant has been on quizzing a lot of times earlier, has been a winner on quizzing with members, been a winner on the insurance edition. We did Siddhesh. Siddhesh is here, local boy.
Hi KV, hi everyone.
Siddhesh, are you at work?
No, I'm at home.
Yeah, you're at home only, no? Just seemed so nice. You seemed so at 9 p.m. So मुझे लगा you're doing some.
No, this is actually in the middle of my working hours, so I'm just taking some.
Yeah.
I will be back to work after the quiz.
Yeah, I know. Even Ashutosh is in middle of a work day. Aishwarya and I are the only two people who are done with their. Or in some sense, we are all working right now, guys. Come on, this is also work. Okay, cool. Let's do it, guys. Let's do a fun Sherlock quiz. Just let me know if you guys can see this. See this screen? Siddhesh, Aishwarya, Ashutosh. Can see?
Yep, visible.
Cool. This is Sherlock Holmes quiz, and as Anshuman likes to call it, the riddle of Reichenbach. False. Why not? That reference might come later in the quiz. Who knows? Everyone knows how it works, right? So I'll not get into the details. Just a shout out to Anshuman from our team. Big Sherlock fan. He's fan of a lot of things. That's why you get a lot of different kinds of questions in quizzing. First question, I'm actually going to the audience. Then I'll come back to you, Aishwarya. Audience, this is for you. In June 1901, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle explored Dartmoor with Daily Express journalist Bertram Fletcher Robinson, who helped inspire one of his most famous stories, The Legend of Square, Richard Cabell of Devon, and the eerie remains of Holy Trinity Church, which you can see on the screen actually, in Buckfastleigh, inspired the tale of a supernatural dash. This story would go on to become one of the most iconic cases solved by Conan Doyle's famous detectives. What is this story that came out in 1902? So in 1901, Arthur Conan Doyle went out with the journalists, explored these places, these eerie surroundings, gave him an idea for a supernatural dash, and the story came out next year in 1902. Remains one of the most iconic Conan Doyle Sherlock Holmes story of all time. A lot of people have answered it in the chat, but let's see who answered before anyone else. Who was the first? It was Abhishek Word. Say, so nice to see you, Abhishek. Well done, you are right. And Sanveer, Dhruv, you're all right. Abhishek Saluja is here. Rutajit, you're also right. Naren, you're also right. Anybody wants to guess? Siddhesh, Aishwarya, Ashutosh?
I think whoever wants to go.
Hound of Baskervilles?
Yeah. Supernatural Hound. We're talking about the Hound of the Baskervilles. This is the story that we are talking about. Okay, cool. Let's start the quiz now. First direct is to Aishwarya. Okay. This is an application debugger included with the Microsoft Windows operating system. The tool is named after something or someone from Sherlock Holmes universe. The idea being that it would collect error information or symptoms following a program crash. The use of the word has since been expanded to include general end user feedback services. What do you think is the name of this debugger in Windows operating system. So Windows, every time you install Windows, default debugger is part of the system. And it's called something because the idea is that it would collect error information or symptoms following a program crash.
Wow. I'm not sure. I'll pass.
You're passing? Okay, passing to Ashutosh.
Building on the emphasis on symptoms, I would say Dr. Watson or Watson.
Yes. 11 points there to Ashutosh. It is. You collect symptoms. You're a doctor, Dr. Watson. Debugger is called Dr. Watson. Dr. Watson has been installed as the default application debugger. And these are, of course, various actors and various adaptations of Dr. Watson. Let's see you answer before anyone else. In the chat, it's Shreyash. Shreyash Shinoy, well done. You're also right, Abhishek, Aishwarya, the other Aishwarya, right? You're not on the chat, right? You are on the chat. Somebody is maybe using your login because it is Aishwarya Sairam in the chat saying go Ash. Okay. Not saying the answer, but just saying go Ash. Okay. Makes sense. Dr. Watson, to be precise, says Abhishek, not just Watson. Yes, it is Dr. Watson. 11 points to Ashutosh. Next direct is to Siddhesh. Okay, Siddhesh. This house number 583 Museum Marg in Kathmandu is as different from 221B Baker Street as Dr. John Watson is from Ted Riccardi. Yet, it is the latter, an American scholar and Indologist who assumed the mantle of Watson, the chronicler of most of Holmes' adventure. Narrating the British detective's fascinating exploits in Tibet, India, Nepal, Sri Lanka, and even the Dutch Indies, the book was originally published by Random House in the year 2003. The preface says, Holmes, unbeknownst to the world at large, traveled the globe, locked in mortal combat with some of his most implacable enemies. Now, it's a funda question. When did he get the time to travel to this part of Asia, which surprisingly is missing from Conan Doyle's creation? Okay, so to summarize the question, there is a book by Ted Riccardi, which you can see, the Oriental Casebook of Sherlock Holmes, that talks about Sherlock Holmes cases in Tibet, India, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Dutch Indies, etc., etc., etc. Conan Doyle never wrote about it. The funda is, when do you think Sherlock Holmes got the time to travel to this part of Asia where he solved all of these cases? Just the funda is enough.
Okay, just a guess. So there is a funda where Sherlock Holmes is supposed to have served in the British military or army sometimes and fighting a war sometimes. So maybe if he was posted there, I'm not sure of the exact timeline, but if he was posted there, he would have
no, not that funda. No. Going to Aishwarya.
Is this after he staged his death in The Final Problem?
Nice.
And
that's all. The staging death funda is all we needed. 11 points to Aishwarya. Yes. Anybody knows the exact terms used? Anyone?
The Great Hiatus?
The Great Hiatus. Perfect. The Great Hiatus was the perfect answer that I was looking for. It's the Great Hiatus. And of course, like Aishwarya said, this is the Great Hiatus when he was presumed to be dead. And this is the time when he apparently traveled to all of this. He was presumed to be dead, as if you remember, funda even comes in the show. Reichenbach Falls. From 1891 to 94, when Holmes was supposedly dead, he was actually in the Indian subcontinent solving these cases. Nice. Nicely done. The Great Hiatus. Let's see who answered in the chat before anyone else. Ramandyal Khanna, well done. Fast answer. When he fell down the falls with Moriarty, jumped down. Shreyash, Chitra Agrawal, you're also right. When he was dead, quote unquote, nicely done. Abhishek Saluja, you're also right. Shalini says, last week visited 221B Baker Street and today this quiz. Yeah, we were waiting for you to visit Baker Street, Shalini, to do this quiz. Yeah, Ameya, you're also right. Well done, guys. Well done. Yes, Aishwarya Sairam in the chat is now happy. She says, let's go. Whoa.
That's probably my brother.
Okay, cool. Aishwarya gets 11 on this, which means the next direct will come back to Ashutosh. Okay, Ashutosh, two-part answer. Shown here on the screen is Count von Kramm explaining his predicament to Holmes and Watson in a 1891 illustration by Sidney Paget. He's set to marry a young Scandinavian princess, but worries that her family will call the marriage off because they learn of his previous impropriety with another woman. When the client said, would she not have made an admirable queen? Is it not a pity she was not on my level? Holmes replies that she is indeed on a much different level from him, implying that she was superior to him all along. Who was this woman? And if possible, if you can give me the second part also, is that which story is this that definitely brought a wind of change to the duo's journey as detectives?
Seems like this is the woman Irene Adler, set in the story Scandal in Bohemia, or as the TV show
Perfect.
calls it,
Yes.
Scandal in Belgravia.
Nicely done. Whoa, whoa, whoa. It is, of course, Irene Adler and a Scandal in Bohemia. Well done. We are talking about Irene Adler and Scandal in Bohemia. Let's see who answered both the things in one chat. That will be nice. Yes, Abhishek words. Perfect. Irene Adler and Scandal in Bohemia, bracket Belgrave. Nicely done, you guys. Well done. It is Irene Adler, one of the only humans probably who Sherlock thinks is better than him, or at least at the same level as him. Irene Adler. Nice. That brings us to the halftime. Aishwarya on 11 on the back of the great hiatus. Ashutosh with 11 for Dr. Watson and Irene Adler Funda, 21. Siddhesh yet to start scoring, but like I always say, these 6 questions quiz are barely anything in terms of scores and all. The idea is to celebrate a lot of things in life, just like Sherlock Holmes, and to have new questions to meet, to quiz together. Because, yeah, 6 questions, like Siddhesh barely got a shot at anything. Okay. Let's start the second half. The order now will be Siddhesh, Ashutosh, Aishwarya. Let's do it. Siddhesh, this is your direct. The Adventure of the 6X is one of 13 stories in the cycle collected as The Return of Sherlock Holmes. Someone from Scotland Yard brings Holmes a mysterious problem about a man who shatters plaster busts of X. And there's an image also to help you. X is not only a real life person, but also something which is part of a phrase Doyle lifted from a Scotland Yard inspector referring to Adam Worth, who was a real life criminal mastermind and one of the individuals from whom his work drew a lot of inspiration, actually. Just tell me the first. The Adventure of the 6X. I just need the X, where there's a guy who keeps basically destroying, shattering plaster busts of X, as you can see in the image.
Is it Nelson?
Adventure of 6 Nelson. No, passing to Ashutosh.
So, based on the height of the statue, I would say the 6 Napoleons.
11 points there to Ashutosh. It is Napoleon, or Napoleon, as they would say in France. It is Napoleon. Ashutosh gets it right. Siddhesh is now regretting. It is Napoleon. Now everything fits. Adventure of the 6th Napoleon. This guy keeps going around bursting busts of Napoleon. And the big line that Conan Doyle actually took from Scotland Yard is this, when he refers to Moriarty as the Napoleon of crime. Okay, he's the Napoleon of crime. The Adventure of the 6 Napoleons. Nicely done.
Yeah, the other half of Waterloo.
The other half, sort of. Yeah. Irene Adler, Napoleon, Sanveer Singh got it before anyone else. Napoleons, that is correct. Kartik Kamath, you're also right. Chitra Agarwal, you're also right. All of you are right. It became Thatcher in the series. Yes, it did. Abhishek Vats says similar height. Okay, cool. Next direct is to Aishwarya. Holmes and Watson interrupted their investigation of ... That's your answer, to see the famous Spanish violinist perform at St. James Hall. Holmes said, Parasite plays at St. James Hall this afternoon. What do you think, Watson? Could your patient spare you for a few hours? This story inspired the real life 1971 Baker Street robbery, in which a criminal gang tunneled from a rented shop into a bank vault. There's an image also to show you guys. The Baker Street robbery was the burglary of safety deposit boxes at the Baker Street branch of Lloyd Bank in London on the night of 11 September 1971. A gang tunneled 40 feet, roughly 12 meters, from a rented shop 2 doors away to come up through the floor of the vault. Which story is this? Or just filling the blank. Watson and Holmes interrupted their investigation of dash dash dash. So ideally a three-word answer. Maybe there's a hyphen in the middle. And yeah.
Some reason the word bank is stuck in my head, so I'm just going to say the blind banker.
The blank bankers. No, going to Siddhesh.
Is this a red-headed league?
Yes, it is. It is. Siddhesh also on board. It is the red-headed league, which is where, the robbery was inspired from. Making a tunnel, going, robbing things. This was the red-headed league. Nicely done. Let's see who answered before anyone else. Rutajit Chatterjee. Well done, guys. Well done. Sandeep, you're also right. Red-headed league. Abhishek Vats, you're also right. Naren, you're also right. Cool. Cool. Next direct will be to Ashutosh, but Ashutosh, I'll go to the audience first, then I'll come to you for your next direct. Audience, as you know, there's an audience question in both halves. This is your last audience question. According to myth, the Greek poet Simonides of Chios invented the technique after attending a banquet gone wrong. Simonides stepped outside to meet with two young men, but when he arrived outside, the young men were not there and the hall was collapsing behind him. Though his fellow banqueteers were too badly crushed by the collapse for their remains to be identified, Simonides was supposedly able to put a name with each body based on where they had been sitting in the hall. It fell out of favor, however, with the invention of the printing press. With books more easily available, there was less need for such power, but the method's popularity saw a resurgence in the latter half of the 20th century, particularly in certain international competitions, where skilled participants see it as a primary tool. Competitor Simon Reinhard holds the speed record for doing it for a pack of playing cards in 21.19 seconds. What technique are we talking about? Or what the hell is this doing in a Sherlock quiz, basically? There are 2-3 different answers that I will accept because they are used interchangeably. Let's see what and who got it first. Sanveer got it before anyone else. Well done. Anybody wants to guess? Siddhesh, Aishwarya, Ashutosh?
It's the Memory Palace, right?
Yeah. It is
Memory
a
Palace, Funda.
Tanveer, you're right. Dhruv Patel, you're also right. Abhishek Vats, yeah, somewhere there. And all of you who said Memory Palace, Mind Palace, and even Method of Loki. Okay, so Mind Palace, Memory Palace, Method of Loki. And I would have accepted any of these. Prakash, well done. Chinmay, Chitra, Shogat, Sanyami, all of you are right. Okay, cool. Which means last question of the quiz. This is the direct for Ashutosh because Siddhesh got red-headed league. Ashutosh, this is for you. It is observed by Holmes that X and Tobias Gregson have an ongoing rivalry, and he identifies the two as the pick of a bad lot. They are both quick and energetic, but conventional, shockingly so. Holmes is openly rude about X at times, such as in the Boschcombe Valley mystery when he tells X demurely that he is unskilled at handling facts and refers to X as an imbecile. Doyle seems to have acquired X's name from a fellow student at the University of Edinburgh, Joseph Alexandre X, who was a St. Lucian medical student. In the adventure of the cardboard box, X's first initial is revealed. This initial may have been inspired by the prefect of police, known through Edgar Allan Poe's short story, The Purloined Letter. Who are we talking about? I just want X.
It's my direct, right?
Yes, Ashutosh.
I think it's Inspector Lestrade.
Yes, it is. Anybody wants to guess the initial for bragging rights?
Gregory Lestrade? Is it?
G. Lestrade, yeah, it would be Gregory, but the famous initial that was revealed was G. Lestrade. Inspector Lestrade, great stuff, or I should say Greg, sorry. Well done. Let's start. Karthik answered before anyone else. Well done, Karthik. Aman, Sanveer, Abhishek, you're all right. Chitra, Tarun, well done. Rutajit. Wonderful quiz, Rutajit. Thank you so much. Tanveer said Lestrade and Sherlock are really nice to each other in the Six Napoleons. Yeah. Abhishek says great quiz. Everyone says great quiz. Shout out to Anshuman and you guys for making it great. Inspector Lestrade, that is correct. 10 points there to Ashutosh. And that brings us to the end of the quiz. Like I promised, short and sweet quiz. Let's take a look at the final score. All the scores don't matter, but Ashutosh on the back of his years of reading Sherlock and years of browsing IMDb has won it. Aishwarya ends on 11. Siddhesh also ends on 11. Siddhesh also ends on 11. And Ashutosh at 20 in the first half. In the second half, he got Napoleon and Inspector Lestrade. Ashutosh actually ends on 42, the answer to life, universe, and everything. Well done. Thank you so much, everyone, for being part of this. Thank you so much to people on the chat to become a part of this. One Shogata Bose. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. I just want to say thanks again to Aishwarya
Thanks,
Ashutosh.
KV.
And just last announcement, we are doing quiz show in Delhi next month, 30th November and 1st December. So if you are in Delhi NCR, please come over for season 3. We are doing themed quizzes, movies, Bistec, sports, movie, Bistec,
India.
India, and 2 general quizzes. Please come. And yeah, that's it. Thank you so much, Aishwarya Ashutosh Siddhesh. We're going to end the stream now. Thank you so much for being part of this. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.